In a world where Formula One teams like Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull are constantly chasing massive updates to their cars, McLaren has quietly taken a different approach. What if smaller, more frequent changes are the key to outpacing the competition? Let's dive deep into McLaren's unique development strategy and see how they might have cracked the code to consistent improvement. In Formula One, every team is in a constant battle to find the edge. Most teams focus on big updates, like new floors or major aero packages. They invest significant time and money, expecting a huge leap in performance. But these larger updates don't always deliver. McLaren, on the other hand, has chosen to focus on small, incremental changes. Rather than looking for one giant leap, they're chipping away at performance, one step at a time. The philosophy behind this is simple. By making smaller, more frequent changes, McLaren minimizes the risk of something going wrong. Teams that rely on larger upgrades often have to guess how well the parts will perform until race day. McLaren engineers, however, are more confident that their small updates will work immediately. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, McLaren's drivers, have benefited from this consistency. They know their car won't dramatically change from one weekend to the next. Instead, they feel slight improvements that help them push harder and drive more confidently. This trust in the car is essential in Formula One, where even the smallest hesitation can mean the difference between a podium finish and falling back in the pack. At teams like Red Bull or Ferrari, big updates often come with big risks. These larger changes can sometimes disrupt the balance of the car, leaving drivers struggling to adapt during race weekends. With McLaren's approach, Norris and Piastri can expect a more predictable car, one that improves in manageable ways. One of the most telling signs of McLaren's confidence in their approach is the floor of their car. The MCL 3.8 has run the same floor since the Miami Grand Prix. In contrast, competitors have constantly been overhauling their floors in search of more downforce and better performance. By keeping the same floor design, McLaren has ensured that they avoid unnecessary complications. They aren't wasting time figuring out how to make an entirely new part work. Instead, they focus on perfecting the existing design with subtle improvements in other areas, like the front and rear wings, brake ducts, and bodywork. This approach has given them stability. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri have both praised the team's strategy. Having a stable, reliable car allows them to push harder, knowing that the small changes McLaren implements will enhance their performance rather than make things more difficult. It's not just about the technical side, it's about building driver confidence. Teams like Red Bull and Mercedes may throw significant resources into developing a new floor or aero package, but when that package doesn't work as expected, drivers can lose confidence. They might hesitate in high-speed corners or struggle to find the optimal racing line. McLaren's approach hasn't gone unnoticed. Aston Martin, another team looking to rise through the ranks, is already considering adopting a similar strategy. Team principal Mike Crack has said that it would be dumb not to look at McLaren's success and learn from it. The question now is whether more teams will shift to smaller, more frequent updates, or if they'll continue to pursue big changes that could either pay off massively or fall flat. Why don't big teams like Ferrari or Red Bull always succeed with their massive upgrades? It comes down to the complexity of the modern Formula One car. A change to something as critical as the floor can affect everything else on the car. The aerodynamics, balance, and tire wear can all shift dramatically. Engineers often think they've made an improvement, only to find out that it's upset the car's balance. McLaren's philosophy avoids this issue by making small changes that are easier to understand and integrate. They don't risk throwing the whole car off balance with a single massive update. Instead, they refine and tweak, allowing the car to evolve in a controlled, manageable way. McLaren's engineers have a deep understanding of their car, and that knowledge has been crucial in their success. Every small update is carefully tested and understood before it's put into action. This is where other teams might struggle. They may push out big upgrades without fully understanding their impact. The question is, how far can they go with this approach? Can they break through to challenge Red Bull's dominance? Or is there a limit to how much small changes can improve performance? This will be the ultimate test of McLaren's philosophy. Their steady rise suggests that they're onto something big without ever making a big change. In Formula One, budget caps now restrict how much teams can spend on development, and McLaren's approach allows them to get more out of every dollar spent. This financial focus has allowed McLaren to invest more in other critical areas like simulation and data analysis, which helps them understand how small updates will impact the car in real-world scenarios. Other teams might still spend millions on wind tunnel testing for big upgrades, but McLaren has found a way to maximize their resources without overspending. It's a clever approach that aligns perfectly with the modern Formula One era, where efficiency is just as important as innovation. Ferrari, for instance, has always relied on large aerodynamic packages, but when these packages don't deliver the expected gains, it leaves them scrambling to figure out what went wrong. This flexibility extends to how McLaren works with its drivers as well. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are heavily involved in the development process, providing direct feedback on how each small change affects their driving experience. This close collaboration between the engineers and drivers means that McLaren's updates are more targeted, addressing specific issues the drivers face on the track. In contrast, teams that rely on large updates often find it harder to respond to driver feedback quickly, since bigger changes take longer to implement and test. Even though McLaren's approach to development seems unconventional compared to the traditional strategies of their competitors, it has given them an advantage in reliability. While some teams gamble on big updates and risk mechanical failures or instability, McLaren's car has remained dependable throughout the season. This reliability has translated into fewer retirements and more consistent points finishes, helping them climb the championship standings without the need for dramatic overhauls. The psychological aspect of McLaren's strategy cannot be overlooked either. By avoiding the pressure of needing to hit a home run with every upgrade, the team can operate with a clearer mindset. Instead of chasing massive performance boosts that may never come, they focus on refining what they already know works. This steady, focused mentality allows McLaren to avoid the emotional rollercoaster that other teams experience when big updates fail to deliver. Consistency in the garage leads to consistency on the track. McLaren's success with small updates also shows how well they've mastered the art of understanding tire performance. In modern Formula One, tire management plays a crucial role in a team's overall strategy. With each small update, McLaren fine-tunes the way their car interacts with the tires, ensuring better grip and reduced tire wear during races. Other teams may overlook this detail when they introduce larger upgrades, but McLaren's approach allows them to make sure every change is compatible with how their car manages its tires. As McLaren continues to refine its car, they are also setting an example for smaller teams with fewer resources. Teams like Haas and Alfa Romeo, who can't afford the luxury of massive development projects, could benefit from adopting a similar strategy. McLaren is proving that it's not always about how much you spend, but how wisely you invest your resources. By focusing on incremental gains, even smaller teams might find themselves punching above their weight in the championship. If you enjoyed this breakdown of McLaren's development strategy, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and leave a comment down below. What do you think? Is McLaren's approach the future of F1 development, or do you think bigger is still better? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.